Hello friends, this is Hedda. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a bit of a different video for you all. I get questions about what I actually do for a living and what my work entails. So today I want to share all of that with you. Simply put, I am a full-time artist. I am 30 years old and I'm from Norway, and although I started building what I have today in 2018, it wasn't actually until 2022 that I actually made enough money from my business to actually live off of it. Even now, I don't live in abundance. Because of my student loans, I can't afford a house or anything, but I can afford rent and food and the occasional vacation. 10 years ago, I had no idea the direction my life would take. I was dreaming of becoming a diplomat 10 years ago. And then 5 years ago, I was dreaming of this exact moment. Internet is a really wonderful thing for artists, me included. If it wasn't for the internet, my life would look very different right now. But let's talk about what I actually do. I have multiple streams of income, which means that I do several different things that make money semi-independently. They're all connected to my social media presence though, so that's why I say semi-independently. I like to split them roughly into 3 categories, and those categories are my influencer income, my Patreon, and my shop. Although the first category might seem the most interesting and exciting to a lot of people, it's actually the least lucrative of the 3 for me. I'll show you real numbers and stuff later. I'm going to go through these 3 categories in order because it is the order that I started them in. I started my Instagram and my YouTube first, and then my Patreon, and then my shop. I'm going to talk a little bit about how I got started with the different things and what I do with them now. So since I have kind of split the video into 3, there will be kind of chapters that you can skip to the part that you're most interested in if you want to do that, or you can just watch the whole thing. So what do I do on social media? The most time-consuming part of my social media work is definitely YouTube, but I also make short form videos for my Instagram and occasionally TikTok, and also like photo posts for Instagram. I have 1 YouTube channel, 2 Instagram accounts, well actually 3, but the 3rd one is like a personal account for my friends, and then 1 TikTok account. My goal every month is to post 1 YouTube video a week and to post something on Instagram every day. It can be a video, or it can be a photo, or stories. I don't always manage to hit this goal, but when I do, I feel great. Keeping up with a YouTube channel is a lot of work, and a while back I realized that if I want to keep doing what I'm doing, I need to outsource some tasks and use tools that will help me work more efficiently. Luckily, on a random day, I think it was in 2022 or maybe 2021, I got an email from a lovely woman who would later become my video editor. A lot of my videos follow the same pattern. It's usually desk view, not my face. I create something in one of my journals, for example, and then I need to cut the 3 to 6 hours of footage into a shorter video and maybe sped up here and there, and cutting out parts of the video where nothing interesting is happening, for example. Just making it into a video that has a length that works well as a YouTube video. So that's what my editor does, and then once she is done with what I like to call the rough cut, she does all of that cutting. Then I go in and I add my intro, any sponsorship message, background music, voiceover, and any text that I want to have in the video that kind of makes sense with where my voiceover is. The voiceover takes me quite a long time because I don't have a manuscript normally to go off of, so there's a lot of rambling. And sometimes I say things wrong because English is not my first language, so I will mess up words here and there, and then I will re-record them. I also cut out long pauses if I suddenly don't know what to say, or just anything like that, so that my monologue is progressing seamlessly. And I also cut out parts that I like to call mouth sounds because I am maybe a little bit more sensitive to sounds than the average gal, but I just can't deal with watching videos where the person talking is making a lot of mouth sounds. For example, those ASMR videos where someone is just really close to the mic and they're making sounds with their mouth, that's my worst nightmare. That makes me aggressive and kind of violent. So I don't want to inflict that on any of my viewers who might feel the same way. So I probably cut my voiceovers more than necessary, but for me it is necessary. Sometimes I miss some mouth sounds, and for that I am very sorry. I really do my best every single time I make a voiceover. Anyway, hiring an editor freed up a lot of time for me, and this time I can put towards doing other tasks. While before editing a video would maybe take me 2 days, it now takes me 1 day. It feels amazing. Of course, it still takes me many hours to prepare for the video, plan the video, film the video, all of that. But having removed the cutting from the process has actually helped me a lot. It's not that it's particularly difficult, it's just time consuming. I don't make much money from YouTube. Most of my videos get between 5,000 and 10,000 views, which of course is amazing that many people want to watch my videos. But in terms of Google AdSense money, it's not very much. Google AdSense earnings is like the money that a YouTuber gets when people watch the ads that play before or during a video. And if you pay for YouTube Premium, you don't have to watch the ads, and then the creators will get kind of a cut from the YouTube Premium. I have 5 videos that have gotten over 100,000 views. They're all from like 2020 and 2021. The height of COVID, probably, that's the reason why. But my most watched video, which was my 2021 reading journal setup video from I think December 2020, has the most views with 250,000 views. Since December 2020, that video has made me $700 US. So of course, if every video that I posted made that much money and kept making money, then that would be great, but that's not the case. Most of my videos end up around the 10,000 mark or below, which means I'll get maybe $50 US per video. Like my latest pen pal with me video ended up at around 4,000 or 5,000 views, and I made $20 from that. So that's why I say I don't really make money from YouTube, because I spend more money on my editor editing those videos than I make from them. And while that might not make sense financially, I do see it as an investment in my presence on YouTube and me staying consistent and consistently putting out videos and hoping that that will help my channel grow. Now that you know roughly how much I can expect to get paid from Google AdSense every month, you probably understand why I sometimes do sponsored videos. Sponsored videos is a really great way for creators like myself to earn a little bit extra money from YouTube videos. Maybe you get to try some new products and services, and then you're also building kind of a portfolio for future brands that might want to work with you and sponsor a video. Now, I will say that in my niche, art and stationery, there is a huge problem. Well, I call it a problem because it is a problem for me. But there is a huge problem where a lot of creators who are maybe quite young, I don't want to say naive because I don't think that's always the case, but they're young and maybe they're not dependent on the income from YouTube. They're maybe a bit too happy to advertise for companies in exchange for free products and not in exchange for money. While I completely understand wanting free products, and I have also done this in the past, and even now I receive free products, but I don't make sponsored YouTube videos in exchange for free products. So I'm saying this like I understand why it's happening, but it creates this environment where stationery brands maybe don't want to pay for me or someone else to make a sponsored video for them because they know that they can get someone else to do it for free and it will be almost the same. Like the difference between me and a similar channel that makes the same type of content, except they will advertise for free and I won't, then of course they're gonna choose the person who will do it for free. Like that makes sense, I understand that. But it does make it a bit rougher out there for those of us who actually want to make money from YouTube. I will get several videos every week with companies reaching out wanting some kind of collaboration or to work with me, and a lot of the time they will pull back when I ask for money. They will say that they don't have the budget for that or whatever, and then they will go to someone else who will do it for free. And like I said, I get it, but it does suck. Also, another thing, if I receive free products, like here in Norway, if I receive free products from a company, I have to pay taxes on that because it was like a perk or gift, a professional gift. I have to declare that and pay taxes on that. So if I don't make money from a brand deal, then I'm actually losing money because I pay taxes for the product and I also pay my editor to edit the video. And yeah, it's just like, you get it. I don't even charge that much for sponsored videos. If anything, I think I undercharge. It's rough out there. So that's just a little bit about sponsorships. I will make more money from doing one sponsored video than I do for 4 videos worth of Google AdSense in a month. A third way that I make money just from my social media is affiliate marketing. What this means is that I have an agreement with a company, I have a personalized link and discount code, and then if someone clicks on that link and goes onto the website and they buy something, or they use my discount code when they buy something, I earn a small commission from that sale. You've probably seen plenty of other creators share links and discount codes like that. I always keep them in the description box of my videos. The amount that I make from affiliate marketing varies a lot. It depends on a few different things, like how popular the brand is, whether or not they have a new release that month, and of course, how much I actually post about it and tell my audience about it. I don't particularly like posting about affiliate stuff too much. I think it can often come across as like too much advertisement, and a lot of people are put off by that, understandably. I prefer to just talk about it when it feels natural, like if I'm posting a video and I am using products myself that I happen to have a discount code for, I will mention that. Or if a brand is releasing something new that I think is really cool, then I will post about it. I don't post about products that I don't like myself. And of course, if there are products that I don't use that often, then I post less about it and then I make less money from that affiliate agreement. I know that I could make more from posting more about it, but there is that balance between like making more money from affiliate marketing and also like kind of your integrity as a creator, I think. From like my different affiliate agreements, my earnings per month actually vary from like $2 a month to $700 a month. So yeah, it's very different. It's never exactly the same, so it's not really anything that I can rely on. It's just like an extra bonus if I make money from affiliates stuff. Other than affiliate stuff, I don't really make money on Instagram and TikTok. Obviously, like all of the like creator funds and all of that stuff that they do on TikTok isn't available to Norwegians, and the same on Instagram. A lot of that stuff is kind of reserved for the Americans and maybe Canadians, I don't know. So that's kind of it about YouTube and Instagram and all of that. After doing YouTube and Instagram and all that stuff for a few years, while also being a full-time student and working a part-time job, I was feeling like maybe I wanted to take it a little bit further. Some of the artists that I really looked up to in like 2019, 2020 was people like Cheyenne Barton, Lee Ellickson, and Fran Meneses. These women all had successful art YouTube channels and they had Patreon pages. I supported their Patreon pages for a long time, and I was looking at how they were doing stuff and how it worked and kind of doing some research, I guess. And quick intro to Patreon for those who don't know what that is. It's a subscription service where as a member you get access to that creator's feed, and then they will post whatever it is that they said that they would post. Like, it's not just for artists, it's for anyone really. And what you get is called benefits or rewards. And some people do like exclusive videos just for patrons, or live streams, or podcasts, or physical products. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. Now, back in 2020, which is when I started my Patreon page, I don't remember there being that many people making journaling kits, like printable journaling kits, but there were probably more than I knew about. It's just that I didn't know about them. I had around 10,000 subscribers on YouTube and followers on Instagram, I think, when I started my Patreon. I started experimenting with making printables for myself in like January, February of 2020, so right before the pandemic. And then of course, once the pandemic hit, I had a lot more time at home. I had quit my part-time job because I was writing my master's thesis, and I thought, how about I just try this? I try making a Patreon page. So I actually made a PowerPoint presentation for my partner. I was explaining my plan, how it's gonna work, how I thought that if I like put in the effort and like really go for it, then I think that it could take off. And I was asking his opinion because he was covering most of our expenses back then since I was studying. And he was very encouraging and he really believed in me, and so I just went for it. I announced my Patreon in my May 2020 plan with me video, which I posted in April of 2020. It was really scary, I was so nervous, but a few people actually joined right away. And it really gave me such a confidence boost. I don't remember how many patrons I had the first month, if it was like 10 or something, but it was just an amazing feeling. So I kept making printable journaling kits, and I think it's safe to say that they have improved a lot over the years. I use a combination of Procreate on my iPad and Adobe Illustrator on my laptop to make the journaling kits. My patrons have been such a huge source of encouragement and inspiration and motivation for me over the years. They are the reason why I kept going and kept working to grow. Some of my patrons have actually been there since the first few months that I had my Patreons. So a big shout out to Stephanie, Anita, Marielle, Caroline, and Natalie. You guys are awesome. In the beginning, I had 3 tiers on my Patreon. And in the beginning of 2021, I expanded to 4. And then later, I think in 2022, I expanded to 5. Beginning of 2021 is also when I started my shop. So that 4th tier came as a result of that. I might not have opened my shop if it hadn't been for the encouragement that my patrons gave me, so thank you. I'll talk more about the shop later since that is category number 3. My Patreon grew a lot since 2020. I now have over 300 patrons normally. It fluctuates a little bit every month. Some people leave, more people join, so it's not always exactly the same. But so far this year, it has kind of stayed around the 300 mark. I offer my patrons a lot more now than I did when it started. I feel like the value has definitely gone up. I have exclusive stickers that I send out to patrons every month. I actually just sent off like 200 envelopes filled with stickers to my patrons only yesterday. Like me 3 years ago could just dream about the kind of engagement that my art receives today. Nowadays, with my 5 tiers, I have the system where each tier receives what's on the lower tiers plus something extra. So for example, my lowest tier, Fiona, is about $2.50 per month, and you get 1 or 2 digital rewards. So that could be a printable calendar or phone wallpaper, or sometimes even a sample of the journaling kit. And then on the next tier, Margaret, which is roughly $4. And I say roughly because my Patreon is in Norwegian kroner, which is my local currency. And so the conversion rates change a little bit, but right now it's roughly $4. Then you get what Fiona patrons get, but you also get an additional sheet of printable stickers. These are exclusive to Patreon, so you won't be seeing them in my shop or anywhere else. The 3rd tier is Walter, which is roughly $9. You get a full journaling kit consisting of everything in the Fiona and Margaret tier, but also like a bunch of other stuff. Like, it is double the price of Margaret, but you get 5 times as much stuff. And then the remaining 2 tiers is Charles and Twin Charles. They are $15 and $20 respectively. On these tiers, you get physical mail sent to you. Every month I make 1 exclusive sticker sheet and 1 exclusive vinyl sticker, and also a thank you card with the patron's name hand lettered by me. The only difference between the 2 tiers is that Twin Charles get 2 of everything. Well, they get 1 thank you card still, but they get 2 sticker sheets and 2 vinyl stickers. And of course, Charles and Twin Charles patrons have access to everything on the lower tiers as well, so all of the printables. And the printables from previous months are also available, so if you join today, for example, then you get access to like 30 journaling kits or something like that. I haven't actually counted. In the beginning stages of the Charles tier, I didn't make exclusive sticker sheets. because having like 10 stickers manufactured is very expensive per sheet. So I started out by sending stickers that were also in my shop in the beginning. So I made stickers for my shop and then I sent 2 every month to the Charles patrons. I actually had this whole overview of the patrons, what they had purchased in the shop, what I had sent them before, so that I could send them kind of custom packages to make sure that they got something that they didn't already have. But when I got to like 30 or 40 patrons, that started becoming a lot. And at that point I felt like it was worth it to make exclusive stuff just for them. And after I started doing the exclusive stickers, more people wanted to join the Charles tier, naturally, which I totally understand. And now I make new exclusive stickers for my patrons every month, and it's really cool and really fun. I will say that when I started my Patreon page in 2020, the Norwegian krone was a lot stronger than it is today. So if you're from the US or a Euro country or the UK, my Patreon page is quite a lot cheaper these days than it used to be. I also know that I am kind of undercharging for the amount of work that goes into my Patreon page. However, it is really difficult to change the price of tiers on Patreon. It is a whole process. It's not just to increase the price, you have to actually make new tiers and ask everyone to move over to the new tier, and then once the old tier is empty, you can delete it. I'm just not quite ready to embark on that journey yet. So yeah, even with all of the inflation and cost of living going up and everything, I have not increased my prices on Patreon since I started. On Patreon, there is this setting for the creator where you can have the amount of money that you are making on Patreon, as well as the number of patrons that you have kind of visible on the front page. Or you can choose to hide it, or you can hide one of them and have the other one visible. For me, transparency is very important. I have both visible, both the amount of patrons and the amount of money. I have noticed that a lot of bigger creators who have like thousands of patrons, they don't show the amount of money anymore. Like the ones that I mentioned before, they all removed the amount of money. I'm not sure why. They probably have their reasons, to each their own, I guess. I feel comfortable sharing it. I think that it's important to show people. So when I look on my Patreon page today, it says that my monthly earnings is 34,000 kroner. That's roughly $3,100. Now, of course, this is not the amount of money that I actually get. And it is also not the amount of money that my patrons have paid together. Because the patrons also pay their local taxes on top of what they pay for the membership. And that is not included in that amount, I think. And then out of that amount, Patreon takes 8% in fees for the service that they are providing. I think that's fair. Of course, yeah, I would love for it to be cheaper, but you know, it's just the way it is. You have to pay for services. So then after the fees are deducted, then I get the money that's left, and then I have to pay taxes on that too, of course. So the amount of money that I walk away with is significantly less than what you see on the Patreon page. It's easy to see these numbers and not really think about all of the fees and taxes that are deducted from that, but yeah, I just wanted to let you know how that works. So yeah, I don't get all of the money that is on my Patreon page, but it does pay for my rent and it does pay for my electricity, so that's great. I think that Patreon is what I spend the most time on throughout the month. Creating the journaling kit takes a long time. Drawing all of the digital stickers, making sure that it's all out before my next bullet journal video. I like to have the journaling kit up just before or at the same time as that video, because they have the same theme and are kind of connected, and I feel like that makes it feel the most intentional, I guess. I also write newsletters every month. I host contests. I actually tried recording my latest newsletter as a podcast, so that was kind of fun. I also have a Discord server that's available only to patrons. The Discord server is pretty chill. It's not that much work, but it's that kind of thing where I am on all the time. It is actually the only app where I have notifications on my phone for that and emails. Everything else I don't have notifications for. I don't want notifications from Instagram, for example, or from YouTube, but on Discord I have notifications on, so I am more accessible to my patrons. I also have 3 amazing people moderating the Discord, so thank you so much to Aukia, Natalia, and Jessica. You guys are the best. Of course, another big part of what I do on Patreon is the physical stickers, like packing them and shipping them, having them manufactured. I also pay for the shipping of the stickers, which is another reason why a lot of the money I make on Patreon doesn't go to me, it goes to my expenses. Shipping Patreon Happy Mail will usually take me 2 to 3 days if I'm doing it alone, 1 to 2 days if I get help. Most of the time I do it by myself though. In February 2021, I started my sticker shop. Like I mentioned before, my patrons really encouraged me to do this. I'm really happy that I did it. I didn't really know anything about manufacturing and shipping stuff and managing a store. It was a steep learning curve for sure. One of the things that I'm really grateful to my partner for is that he recommended that I start outsourcing the production of the stickers from day one. That I don't buy a bunch of cutting machines and printers and like set up a printing factory at home. I know that a lot of small businesses who make stickers do everything themselves. Like they print all of the stickers at home and they cut them at home with Cricuts or Silhouettes. And one thing that they have that I don't have is they have more flexibility with like the size of their sticker sheets and the materials of the stickers, and they can test different colors and stuff. But what I can do is I can make large quantities of stickers all at once. I can order 300 of one sticker sheet and I won't have to reprint it for a while. I can just create the drawings and the designs, I can send them off to my manufacturer and they deal with the printing, and then I get them in the mail and everything is done. And usually from the day I send them my designs, it will take like 1.5 to 2 weeks until the stickers are with me. And I have a pretty good schedule and system with my sticker manufacturer so far. Now, of course, this meant that I did have to like experiment a little bit in the beginning with different manufacturers, like figuring out what to do. And I actually started with vinyl sticker sheets and then I moved to paper sticker sheets. I didn't quite like the smell of the vinyl sticker sheets, to be quite honest with you. They were also thicker than the paper sticker sheets, and I felt like the paper ones just worked better for journaling. I started my shop by releasing a few different sheets like semi-regularly, but not every month like I do now. Like now I have shop updates every month and there will be like 5 to 10 new sticker sheets every month, but back then I made like a few different ones that I felt like making and they didn't necessarily all fit the same theme every time. I had no idea how things were working in the beginning. I didn't have everything figured out, but I don't think I would have been able to start it if I waited until I knew everything 100%, like knew how everything worked. So it's been a journey for me and for my customers, I'm sure. I feel like I've kind of mastered the sticker sheets now though. It's been 2.5 years. I have almost 200 different stickers. I haven't actually retired very many of my designs, and I should probably do that because maybe there are too many different stickers in the shop. My shop takes up a lot of my time and a lot of my money. Of course, there is like packaging orders, drawing new sticker designs, planning themes. I like to create a monthly theme that goes with my bullet journal theme. All of that stuff that you see as a customer. But on the back end, there's a lot more going on as well. There is finding and ordering packaging supplies, buying postage, creating and managing listings on my website. I also have a wholesale page. I'm also considering opening an Etsy store, calculate prices. I do all of the accounting. The accounting. I understand why businesses have accountants. Like each order has to go into my accounting program, and you know, everything that comes in and everything that goes out, it has to be in the accounting program. I spend a lot more money on my business than I spend on me in my personal life. Like today, I spent $2,200 on new products for the store, and not even my rent is that much. So yeah, running a small business is not just the money coming in and like designing and drawing and enjoying all of that, it's also investing, making sure that you make money back on your investment, making good financial decisions. And as a sole proprietorship, which is the type of business that I have, I am the person responsible for my business. The stakes are a little bit higher than it would be in an LLC, for example. But yeah, like I said, I feel like I've kind of mastered the stickers, and I still love making stickers. But this summer I challenged myself to branch out a little bit. So I decided that I would make an advent calendar. And the advent calendar will have not just stickers, but other products as well. So I've been working on that for a while now. I gave myself a ton of extra work on top of everything else. I opened up for pre-orders a couple of weeks ago in my shop. And when I did that, I just wanted to see if I could sell enough advent calendars to get above the minimum order quantity from my manufacturers. Manufacturers will usually have a minimum order quantity. So let's say I wanted to make a washi tape, then the manufacturer that I wanted to work with had a minimum quantity of 100 washi tapes. So if I wanted to put that one washi tape in the advent calendar, and only in the advent calendar, then I knew that I would need to sell 100 advent calendars for it to like make sense. Otherwise I'll be stuck with a bunch of washi tapes that I can't sell, you know? So I opened the pre-orders and it actually went quite well. We did hit the minimum order quantity. So now there's actually a limit in the pre-orders. Before it was kind of unlimited because I wanted to see how many would order. But now that I have actually ordered the products, there is now a limit. So if you want to get the advent calendar, now's the time. You can still pre-order it. There is a limited amount available. So once it's sold out, it's sold out. No restocks. I recommend just getting it as soon as possible because once it's in my system, it will be faster to just like ship it out as soon as all of the products arrive here with me. And then I can ship it out right away without any delays. Creating this advent calendar kind of forced me to broaden my horizon a little bit, and it helped me realize that I am actually capable of drawing and designing other products, not just stickers. So later this fall, you will see some exciting releases from me, probably around November, I want to say. And until then, you can keep in mind that some of my older sticker designs will be retiring. But anyway, for my shop, I draw a lot. I brainstorm a lot, I sketch a lot. I feel like my social media and my Patreon and my shop are all 3 different jobs that come together to create one mega job. I definitely work more hours than I would if I worked at someone else's company. I know that if I had employees, I would probably get more done. I could do more things. But of course I would also need to pay them. I'm just not quite at that point. There are lots of things that I could outsource that would be great to outsource, like packaging orders, doing the accounting, managing the website, listings, logistics, managing my Instagram accounts. These are all things that I could outsource if I wanted to. It would be possible. And it would leave me with more free time. So I'm definitely looking towards that as like being a possibility for the future, but not quite yet. But like I want my business to be sustainable, and the way it is now, I can't really say that it is, considering all of the hours that I'm working, because I have this feeling every week that I am behind on things. So there are things that I should have done, or things that I need to do, and I do everything in monthly cycles, and then the next month comes and it just starts over again and it never stops. It just, the wheels just keep turning and turning and turning. But I still have this drive to keep going with the shop and keep going with everything that I do. And I have this hope that maybe one day I can hire a few people and it can become something bigger, and I'll be able to take time off without suffering for it later, you know? I do not want to come across as ungrateful or that I'm complaining in any way, because I am extremely grateful for the life that I have right now. I am very lucky. I mean, luck is an interesting word. Like, I feel very lucky, but I know that I also worked really hard to get to where I am. So yeah, I love the flexibility that I have from running my own business. Like, I don't have to be strict about starting work at a certain time in the morning. I don't have to ask my boss for leave to go to the dentist, for example. Like all those little things. I can eat lunch whenever I want, but I also never turn off my work brain. So I have days where I suddenly find myself working at like 11 p.m. and of course that's not great. It's definitely something that I can work on, and I have gotten better at taking breaks and just putting work aside when I need to. I've gotten better at that than I was before, so I think that's something that just has to kind of evolve naturally maybe. So all of the things that I've talked about in this video is, you know, things that my work consists of. It's hard for me to list like every single thing that I do because there's so many tiny little tasks that go into everything, like the big ball that is Mochi Bujo and Ikigai Papier. But I hope that this video maybe cleared up some of the questions that you had and maybe you learned something new. A big thank you to all of my patrons, my customers, my subscribers, my followers. You guys literally made a dream come true for me. I know, super cheesy, but it's true. Although things can always get better and things can always grow and get bigger, I try to always remember that 2019 had I dreamed of this exact moment, she would just be so thrilled. And I am thrilled. She was hoping that this could be her life, and now years later it finally is. I've gone from creating content on Instagram and YouTube as a hobby to it actually being my job, and I get to run a business and I get to make products and content that brings people joy and gives them creative ideas and encouragement, and that part is really important to me. I want to spread inspiration. That's really what I want people to take away from everything that I do. It's inspiration for them to create art and do creative things. And yeah, I want to share my journey for anyone who maybe want to do the same thing as me. So thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you for clicking the like button. I appreciate you all so much. Thanks for being awesome. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!